For more than 250 years, they've stood in the gap. From the bridge at Concord to Antietam and the Ardennes to Kandahar, they are America's sons and daughters, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, friends and neighbors. Faithful to duty, humble in service, we owe them an immeasurable debt of gratitude. I'm Jody Dean. For 15 years, the Dallas Rotary Club's Salute to America's Veterans Luncheon has been a chance to say thank you in person. This year, of course, has required us all to adapt and improvise. But thanks to the continuing support of the Perot Foundation, the 2020 salute will be online with keynote speaker, retired Army Sergeant, paratrooper, and former Golden Knight, Michael Elliott. America's heroes deeply need our support more than ever. So register via the link on this page and click on the donate button to find 3 ways you can help. The 16th Annual Salute to America's Veterans, Veterans Day, Wednesday, November 11th. Join us from anywhere online, beginning at 11:45, benefiting USO DFW and the George W. Bush Military Service Initiative. Because we're never too far apart to stand for those who stood for us.
If tomorrow all the things were gone, I'd work for all my life, and I had to start again with just my children and my wife.
I thank my lucky stars to be living here today, where the flag still stands for freedom, and they can't take that away. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free. And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me.
And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
God bless the USA.
God bless the USA.
From the lakes of Minnesota
to the hills of Tennessee,
across the plains of Texas, oh, from sea to shining sea.
from Detroit down to Houston,
New York to LA,
where there's pride in every American heart, and it's time we stand and say, oh, and I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free, and I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me.
And I gladly stand up next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land.
God bless the USA.
God bless this country. And I'm proud to be an American, where at least I know I'm free.
And I won't forget the men who died, who gave that right to me. And I gladly stand up
Next to you and defend her still today. 'Cause there ain't no doubt I love this land. Please bless you.
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Well, hi, I'm Jody Dean, and welcome to 2020 Salute to America's Veterans Luncheon, sponsored by Rotary Club of Dallas and the George W. Bush Military Institute. What a wonderful way to start our program today with the words and music of Lee Greenwood as sung by our men and women in uniform, singing Proud to be an American. First of all, I wanted to show you a picture today. One reason we are so proud to be an American, I sent this earlier and I hope we can put it up. This is a picture of an 89-year-old veteran in California. As you can see next to me on the screen, I believe, this gentleman was in a hospital and asked the staff there at the hospital to wheel him outside on a gurney because of COVID restrictions. The hospital couldn't allow people to come in, so he could sign his ballot and vote. And if that doesn't tell you everything you need to know about America's servicemen and women, nothing will stop them from serving their country and each of us. We're especially grateful for all the veterans who have joined us today on this very special day, Veterans Day. I've been doing this now for 15, 16 years, and I'm trying to remember at any time when we actually had the Veterans Luncheon on Veterans Day, which is really, really cool, celebrating 101 years today, in fact. And we want to welcome and thank all of any first responders who are with us today, too, here in Dallas, Fort Worth, North Texas, USA, and around the world, and those veterans who are watching us today at the Dallas VA Hospital or anywhere else around the country. We want to thank you, and we're so glad that you chose today to share your time with us, and we hope we make it worth your while. Now, obviously, things are a little bit different because of COVID-19 this year. For instance, I haven't had a haircut since last February, haven't been in a restaurant since March, and I think this is the first time I put on a jacket since last year. So pardon me for being a little bit shaggy, but since it is celebrating veterans and all they've done for our country today, I decided to dress like a Civil War general. It's a pleasure to be here as always, and a privilege. As we've all experienced, COVID has changed so many things about our lives. We're lucky, though. We are able to navigate through this with the help of a lot of great people, mostly younger people who understand things like Zoom and the internet, which allowed us to get on the air, and old guys like me to learn a whole lot in a very short time. The commitment of Rotary of Dallas and the Salute to America's Veterans Committee to support the brave men and women who defend our country has never faltered. Given all the COVID-19 challenges, we believe we had to carry on this tradition the best way we knew how. And as you can see, we're pulling it off. So congratulations to everyone who's been a part of this. It's been really remarkable. And this altered approach to the Salute to America's Veterans Luncheon hopefully will return to what we considered normal next year. But at the same time, this is a new beginning. This is the first time I think that this program has ever been live streamed, and it certainly won't be the last. Now, with the current health conditions and economic impact affecting all our veterans, we didn't want to take any additional risks. Therefore, we downsized this luncheon for 2020 accordingly. Likewise, given the economic impact sustained by most of our past sponsors, we decided to suspend fundraising efforts for 2020 sponsorships and only solicit donations. So by all means, if you have a chance, this is who you're helping. The George W. Bush Military Institute, Rotary Club of Dallas, USO-DFW do so many great things, and your support today is greatly appreciated. Wherever you are, find an organization that helps veterans, and let's all do our part. To honor our veterans and active duty military men and women by hosting the premier Veterans Day celebration in Dallas-Fort Worth, and to raise funds to support outstanding organizations that support our troops. That's the mission statement of this luncheon, and we're here to support our community, our veterans, and two extraordinary organizations. And let me tell you a little bit more about USO-DFW and the George W. Bush Institute Military Service Initiative. They are making a difference by serving those who have served us. And you'll hear about them in greater detail as we continue with today's program. So thank you again today for joining Rotary Club of Dallas in celebrating Veterans Day. And it is my privilege at this point to turn over the mic, the camera, and the internet all at once to Jim Frankowitz, President of Rotary Club of Dallas.
Took the mask off. I know that I'm not as cute as past President Charles Dowden, but I thought I would take the mask off anyway. Good afternoon, and fellow Rotarian Jody Dean, thank you so much for opening our program. Welcome to the 16th Annual Salute to America's Veterans, hosted by the Rotary Club of Dallas. My name is Jim Frankowitz, and I'm proud and humbled to serve as the 2020-2021 President of the Rotary Club of Dallas. Our club has a rich history of more than 109 years of service to the Dallas community. Today, there are more than 35,000 Rotary clubs around the globe with 1.2 million Rotarians. Rotary brings together business and civic leaders who are dedicated to advancing goodwill and peace in our local and global communities. One of our most beloved efforts is to give back to our veterans and public servants through events like this one. Rotary International's theme for the year 2020-2021 is Rotary Opens Opportunities. I'm inspired by the patriotism displayed in this room and our online guest attendees as we celebrate those who served to preserve American liberty. Today, we want to show our appreciation for our veterans and military men and women. The Rotary Club of Dallas and the SAV 2020 team took the opportunity of reaching out to our veterans community during this time of COVID-19, demonstrating the Rotary International theme, Rotary Opens Opportunities. We're honored to have our online guests. We'll begin our official program now with an invocation delivered by Linus Wright and the pledge delivered by Cindy Jansen.
Thank you, President Jim. You will stand and bow your heads, please. Almighty God, to whom we must give an account as citizens of this great nation, we are eternally grateful for the brave men and women who have for the past 200 years protected our freedom and our heritage. Mere words are inadequate to express our heartfelt thanks for their service and commitment and sacrifice. As the men and women in uniform have blessed us and our families, we pray, Lord, that you will bless them and their families in every phase of their life. I remind the members of Rotary assembled here today to say thank you to those who have put their lives on the line for our nation. Rotary motto, service above self, points out that we understand the meaning of service and commitment to God and to each other and to the greatest nation on earth. It is our prayer that our nation will always be mindful of the need and support for those who volunteer to protect us. May we always be an example for the rest of the world as we strive to live up to the words of our founding fathers who foresaw a land of equal opportunity for all. Lord, we close our prayer always in gratitude for the meal prepared for our nourishment, that it will strengthen our resolve to continue our commitment to maintain peace, freedom, goodwill, and justice for all. Amen.
Please join me in the pledge by placing your hand on your heart and facing the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Linus. Linus is one of our long-standing Rotarians, a past president of our club, and one of our two World War II veterans. Cindy, thank you as well. If you would all please remain standing for the national anthem. Let's sing the national anthem together.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
So once again, Linus and Cindy, thank you. And what a great performance from members of the USO troop from our live 2019 event. We would like to start, oh, you may be seated now, sorry. That was in the script, sorry. We'd like to start today by giving a special acknowledgement to the Perot family and the Perot Foundation for their ongoing support of our event. I must say that without the 2020 support of the Perot Foundation, today's event would not have been possible. We express our sincere thanks to the late Mr. Perot for his many years of unwavering support and dedication to helping veterans and active service women and men by his generous support of Salute to Americans veterans. He was a true American patriot. In these most challenging times, we would like to acknowledge the passing of a longtime Rotary Club member of Dallas who served proudly in the armed forces and who gave selflessly to Rotary and his community, Dennis Allen, United States Navy. Now, on behalf of all veterans, our men and women in uniform and first line responders who've passed in the past year, let's show our respect with a moment of silence. Today, we have a special acknowledgement of our greatest generation, our World War II veterans we are honored to recognize and have Linus Wright with us today, and another one of our longstanding Rotarians, Joe Turecki, who is at the Tradition Assistance Living Center. Through special arrangements, we'd like to give a shout out to Joe and his 20 veteran friends who are watching. Joe, we have a special tribute for you.
I'm Joe Turecki, born in Massachusetts, and during the Depression, we moved to New York City. I built a lot of model airplanes, but never thought that I could personally fly. So we just stood up, shook hands with each other, and said, "This is it." Then sat down and finished our poker game. At the reception center, I saw a building that said Aviation Examining Station. So just for the heck of it, I went inside, and I was assigned to Troop Carrier Command. I could see all that havoc down there. I saw some tracers coming up close to us, and as it went down, one bullet got through my right wing. One bullet through a gas tank, and you're done. I got to fly and stayed in the service after the war, 24 years altogether. That was all I ever wanted to do.
Joe, please know we miss your smiling face and your many jokes at our weekly meetings. God bless you and your veteran friends at the Tradition. We'd like to recognize from our audience members of the Green Beret Army Special Forces, Association Chapter 31 are here today. Please stand and wave so that we can recognize you. Please remain standing for just a moment. I'd like all veterans who are in the room to please stand and wave so that we can extend our appreciation in person and online. We thank you, our veterans, and our men and women in uniform for your service and for helping protect our freedom, past and present. Now it's my pleasure to acknowledge a few special guests. You may be seated. Sorry, Mike, or Sid, sorry. Now it is my pleasure to acknowledge a few special guests. It's a privilege to have our 2020-2021 District Governor 5810, John Mosier, and past Rotary District Governors, Beverly Grogan and Bill Dendy. Thank you for participating in our 16th Salute to American Veterans event. Now it's my pleasure to bring back remotely our fellow Rotarian, Jody Dean, to make some special announcements. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. What a wonderful start to today's program. By the way, I actually brought souvenirs with me today, not souvenirs, keepsakes. I've told this story during the Salute to America's Veterans Luncheon before, but today's the first time I've had an opportunity to do this because I'm actually in my television studio in our backyard. So it wasn't that hard. I thought I would show these to you since I've referenced them before. My dad's World War II dog tag. 10 years after he passed away, I had no idea about his service record, so I wrote the Department of Defense. Not only did they send me his service records, but they sent me all of his medals and commendations. There's his garrison cap and his patch. So, and I have another surprise to show you at the end of today's program that's pretty cool, but we'll get to that later. These things mean a great deal to me, and as a result, I'm here, and I'm proud and privileged to be a part of this yet again. As an honorary Rotarian and on behalf of the Rotary Club of Dallas, we are extremely grateful for you allowing us to join your day in person and online in what's become a great tradition of showing respect to those servicemen and women who have served courageously in the armed forces of the United States. Rotarians are extremely proud of the past results of 15 years and are very grateful to all our past sponsors who have helped make this event so successful, including our guests today. More than 6,500 people have attended our SAV events, with over 50% being veterans. Including these guests are donors, sponsors, incredibly generous, giving, warm-hearted people. And through the Rotary of Dallas, they have donated more than $500,000 to our partner organizations, $550,000, positively impacting the lives of our veterans, active duty military personnel, and their families. Now, for years, we've had a group of partners who do so much in our communities to support our veterans and our active men and women in uniform that we have to mention them. And without their support, today's event simply would not be possible. American Airlines, for instance, has provided the transportation for our keynote speakers for more than 13 years. The Frontiers of Flight Museum, one of the greatest places in all of Dallas-Fort Worth. Anyone who walks through the doors of the Frontiers of Flight Museum is instantly 8 years old again. They've helped with facilities for 16 years. And of course, the PSAV has provided excellent support with audio and visual equipment for 12 years. And our friends at 98.7 K-Love, my old radio station, who provided PSA announcements for the past dozen years, which I've had the privilege of voicing over even after they fired me. So it's been a pleasure to be a part of that, and K-Love and the entire Intercom family is very grateful for the opportunity, I know, to be a part of this day honoring our veterans. Now, as mentioned earlier, much of the success of this event is because of the long-standing generosity and relationship with the Perot Foundation. Again, we want to express our appreciation, and we do want to recognize those of you who have made donations of $500 or more for today's event. So if you would please give everybody a big round of applause and thank them for all that they've done to make sure that this event has been as successful for as many years as it has. Thank you to all of our sponsors. Thank you very much. Now, we would like to take a few minutes to share the good work being accomplished by our partners at the USO DFW and the George W. Bush Institute Military Service Initiative. For today's event, we have a video on the work of the USO in our military communities throughout the world. Enjoy. Fantastic. What a great video. I wish I'd done that. And I skipped right ahead too far, and there are other people that I want to thank. So I hate to disturb the production crew here, but if we could put up slide number 9. I missed a whole group of loyal donors a minute ago, and we can't do that. First of all, there we go. AAA Auger Plumbing, Health Wildcatters, Cullum Construction, George Tarpley, and EIS Lighting. Thank you to all of you for your generosity and your donations. Additionally, slide number 10, we've attempted to list the names of all of you who have made a donation, and we want to thank each one of you for your kindness, no matter how small or large the gift. It has made this event possible, and that means it's allowed us to tell veterans thank you in ways that hopefully they will remember. So thank you. We want to remember you as well. We do want to extend our thanks and appreciation to the USO, its volunteers, for all that they do for our military men and women. And it's ironic in a way that for years, one of the things the USO has done at DFW Airport is provide a video link so that service personnel could speak with their families, either as a last chance before they went on deployment or as they just arrived home. And here we are in year number 16, essentially doing the same thing with people who we respect and love, but can't share the same room with at the time. So this is kind of cool that it's come full circle. We're now doing what you've been helping to fund, and hopefully we'll continue doing it in the future. And this is the best part of this portion of the program. That USO DFW has been helping untold thousands of servicemen and women as they travel through our region. And we're pleased to announce that before the end of 2020, there will be a new USO opening at Dallas Love Field. So the effort continues to grow. Our troops and our servicemen and women are not forgotten, and nor will they be, thanks to your generous support and donations. Now, we have our partner, the George W. Bush Institute Military Service Initiative, who have shared a video by Colonel Matt Avedon providing an update on the work they do with our wonderful and sacrificial and dedicated wounded warriors whom we love so much. Have a look.
As we all gather to celebrate Veterans Day and those who have worn the cloth, I am so sorry we are not able to be together. However, nothing will stop us from celebrating as best we can, and in doing so, allowing us at the Military Service Initiative the opportunity to say thank you for your tremendous support to our Warrior Open Golf Tournament. Out of an abundance of caution, we postponed the tournament until next year. I wanted to take a moment here and share how impactful your generosity is in allowing us to highlight the service, sacrifice, and most importantly, the continued leadership of some of our most seriously wounded post 9/11 veterans and their families. The Warrior Open is life-changing as those selected are welcomed into our Team 43 family and all of the supports that it provides. What this truly reveals is that you all, in living your values of leading and taking action to create lasting change, are living the path in what it means to not only be a grateful nation, but to act as a grateful nation. Leaders like you who know that Veterans Day is a time to reflect on service to the nation and on how we all continue to lead in our businesses and in our communities. To speak of community, President Bush has turned his painter's eye most recently to portraits and stories of 43 immigrants to be released in a book titled Out of Many One. And I think that value, out of many one, is so important on this Veterans Day as we all share the great honor of having worn the cloth of our nation. What we take from this is that we raised our right hand to support and defend the Constitution of the United States, the Constitution, which is the very foundation of our democracy. And we all know that democracy is not a spectator sport. So as President Bush reminds us, we have a responsibility to honor our veterans and to empower them to continue to serve as national assets. He does as well remind of our new mission to contribute to the security, economy, and sustained health of our democracy as civilians. So on this Veterans Day, thank you all for your leadership, your generosity, and investment in our warriors and their families, and for your continued commitment to this great nation and ensuring that our best days are yet to come. May God bless our service members standing watch overseas and for their families here at home. May God bless all of our veterans who continue to lead as civilians. And may God continue to bless the United States of America. Happy Veterans Day.
Amen. Amen. You know, I think about these lyrics a lot. Sometimes it feels like almost every day nowadays, but particularly on this day. And they especially apply to our wounded warriors. Oh, beautiful for heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy goal refine, till all success be nobleness, and every gain divine. And it is an honor to be among those who, and remember those who loved mercy more than life. We want to thank our friends Betsy Martin, the Director of Corporate and Foundation Relations, for sharing that video with us today. We're appreciative to the George W. Bush Institute for their vision, their leadership, and compassion toward serving our veterans, and may their work continue forever. If you have attended this event in the past, we know we honor our veterans under normal conditions. Well, this room is usually full of veterans, and we have a few today. It is a patriotic celebration, and sometimes it's a little bit boisterous. Today is a little different, but still cause to honor those who've served. Honoring our veterans will always be a tradition here at the Salute to America's Veterans Luncheon, and we honor all veterans and military men and women who are serving by a performance of the service medley, the branch of service hymns. From our 2019 get-together, we have the privilege of the USO show troupe performing the United States Armed Service songs, the military salute. So as your service branch hymn plays, please stand in the audience, your home, or wherever, and sing as proudly and loudly as you can. As they say, let them hear you outside. And the words for each branch of service hymn will appear on the screen. Take it away.
The United States Army. During World War I, 4,057,101 soldiers served valiantly on the field of battle. To all the men and women of the Army who served throughout our history, our salute.
First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might, and the Army goes rolling along. Proud of all we have done, fighting till the battle's won, and the Army goes rolling along. And it's hi, hi, hey, the Army's on its way. Count off a cadence loud and strong. 2, 3, 4, hut. 2, 3, 4, wherever we go, you will always know that the Army goes rolling along.
The United States Navy. In World War II, 4,183,466 men and women answered the call to protect our country. For every member of the Navy on every battlefront, we salute you.
Anchors aweigh, my boys, anchors aweigh. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day. Hey, hey, hey. To our last night on shore, drink to the foam. Until we meet once more, here's wishing you a happy voyage home.
The United States Coast Guard. During the Korean War, 44,403 members of the Coast Guard fought bravely for freedom's preservation. To the many generations of Coast Guard veterans, our gratitude and our salute.
We're always ready for the call. We place our trust in thee. Through howling gale and shot and shell to win our victory.
Semper Paratus is our guide, our
pledge, our motto too. We're always ready, do or die. I Coast Guard, we fight for you.
The United States Marine Corps. In the Vietnam War, 794,000 Marines served our country with valor and honor. To every member of the Marine Corps who served in every conflict, we salute you.
From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land, and sea.
First we fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines.
The United States Air Force. During the Persian Gulf War, 50,751 Air Force pilots put their lives on the line for the defense of freedom. To all the men and women who served the Air Force throughout their history, our salute.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Atom boys, give them the gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame or go down in flame. For nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force.
Army.
First to fight for the right and to build the nation's might.
Navy.
Anchors aweigh, my boys.
Coast Guard.
Semper Paratus is our guide.
Marine Corps.
From the halls of Montezuma.
Air Force.
Off we go into the wild blue yonder. This is America. America.
Thank you very much. Boy, that was fun last year. I can't wait till we can do that in person again. But I do think I heard some Marines outside during the service medley. They're always the loudest, well, usually the loudest. The USO, DFW, and Bush Military Institute Service Initiative have always a need for a few spare dollars. I mean, it's a charity, it's a public outreach, it's an important thing. And so anything anyone can do at any point, however large or small, is always gratefully appreciated, because those dollars take care of our men and women in uniform and our veterans, as you've heard, especially during the upcoming holiday season, especially during a season where a great many people have lost their incomes, their businesses, and their future is uncertain. These holidays, as we head into Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, Christmas, the New Year, these are going to be difficult and untold times for many people who've never experienced anything like this. And that includes veterans, that includes their families. And so this particular year, we are asking that if you want to give a donation, please note the slide. There are 3 ways of donating to help. You can pick one or all 3. Your donations will be greatly appreciated and helping 2 organizations that can put every dollar and every cent to good use. And we really do thank you for that, because without your support, your assistance, the battle cannot be won. So thank you again for that. Now, let me introduce my good friend, Charles Ashcraft. Let me tell you about Charles real quick before he takes the mic. There's a house being built next door. And I don't know if you can hear the hammering and sawing, but they're building a house next door. And so all day long, every day during the week, it sounds like something's going on. There's work being done. Whenever we get to September, October, November, that describes Charles, who has probably been on the phone with the team putting this thing together more than his family. That's not new. It's happened every year for 16 years. Beginning sometime around the latter part of August, I start getting phone calls from Charles Ashcraft. And so it's only appropriate that the architect, the glue, who pulls all of these talented people together and makes this thing go, and seems to do it every year with even more energy than the last, should join us here today to spend a few minutes at the podium. Charles, it's all yours.
Well, gee, Jody, I've never had Jody Dean make something or say something good about me. So this is really good. It's usually when I get in touch with him, it's, what do you want? I guess I'm gonna learn to say, Jody, would you get another hammer and some more nails, and let's bigger house. But I really do. It's an honor for me to relate with Jody Dean this time of year every year, because when we say who's going to help us pull this thing together, from a PSA announcement, from helping us run through the script, every Rotarian says, he can't do it, he can't do it, only Jody Dean can do it. So Jody, as long as I have a job, I think you have a job. So thank you for sharing your time, your talent with us this year, and we truly love, and we're glad you're one of our Rotarians. Also, before I introduce Sid Epps, there's a gentleman in the audience by the name of Jim Struble. Mr. Struble, will you stand up? All of you guys know Jim as a Rotarian. And I tell this story every year, and I'll probably tell it until I'm no longer around. But in 2005, when this event started, there was only a few of us around, but I'll never forget walking out about 1:30 or 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Jim was the president-elect, and we just finished the event. It was a good event, and I think we even had box lunches, Jim, I'm not sure. But as we're walking out, Jim is the new president, and you know Jim, he can always take an ideal and cultivate it to its fullest. He'll get somebody to do it. And he goes, I really like that. Do you think we should do it next year? And here we are, 16 years later. Jim Struble, thank you. I'm sorry, Jody sort of got me teared up, because when he says something about you, you got to say, wow, what have I done? But anyway, again, Jody, thank you. And it is my pleasure now to introduce a gentleman that I've known for 13 years. And again, I take it back to SAV, because I met Mr. Sid Epps due to the Salute to the American Veterans Program. A mutual friend of ours who was with American Airlines invited me to Skyball. And if you know, Skyball is one of the largest, I shouldn't say one of the largest, it's the largest military event in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. And I think it's just about the largest in the USA. And I had the pleasure of meeting Sid at that event. And from that meeting, Sid and his team jumped on board as a supporter and a sponsor for SAV. They've been one each year, and usually at this time of the year when we're here, I want to say about where Mr. Struble is sitting, or maybe a table over, Sid and his board of directors are sitting there. And he'll usually have 4 or 5 or 6 of his board of directors, and I've had the pleasure of meeting them. I've attended 1 or 2 of their board meetings to either ask for money, that's usually when he doesn't let me in for long, or I want to present them with one of our posters from SAV. And I have to tell you, they're absolutely a diverse group of people. They're volunteers, and one of their mottos, and I think if you're a true American, they dedicate their time to the proposition that freedom is not free. There is a sacrifice by everyone, either in your time, your talent, your money, or your service in the military. So great group of guys. Just a quick one, the Air Power Foundation was formed in 1999. It's funding programs that's dedicated to supporting active duty military veterans and their family. On an annual basis, they fund over 72 support organizations through grant, which are carefully vetted by their board of directors. If you've never been to Skyball, I just want to do a comparison. And unfortunate they didn't have one this year due to the pandemic, but we normally have about 400 or 500 people here, and we turn it one time. On average, they have about 5,000 attendees at the Skyball in Dallas. That's 5,000, so sort of do the math on the number of tables, the number of meals. And up until this year, they've had that event in an American Airlines hangar. So think about trying to get 5,000 meals in and out of an aircraft mechanic home and feed the people. Where do you cook them at? How do you move them? And we have, on a good day, we have David Vilbick plus about 20 volunteers. I think Sid and them run somewhere between 1,000 and 1,500 volunteers. And they do that 3 nights in a row. They do Thursday, Friday, Saturday with the big one. And this year, I say this year, I should, in 2021, if everything goes right, they will hold Skyball 18 at Globe Life Field with the Texas Rangers. And I'm sure you'll hear more about that in the coming months. But it's really my pleasure in walking with a friend, a supporter, and a sponsor for Salute to American Veterans, Mr. Sid Epps. Sid.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Charles. I really appreciate that. Actually, that number is when you do Thursday, Friday, Saturday night, we move 10,000 people through there. Because Friday night we do a 6,000 person thank you to our military, and we put on a free concert and a barbecue buffet on Friday night for about 6,000. Then we do 4,000 on Saturday night. And then we do about 500 to raise funds on Thursday night. This last year we did the return of the POWs from Vietnam, the 45th anniversary. And we raised those gentlemen some money. And then a couple of years ago, we did one for the Medal of Honor recipients, and we raised those guys quite a bit of money also. So Thursday night's a fundraiser that goes specifically to an organization. Friday, Saturday night, we bring that money in so we can do our 72 nonprofits that we support. We're a pass-through. We bring the money in on this side, and we vet it and put it out on that side. And we're able to help a lot of people. And we're so proud of that in our organization and our volunteers that work with us. So thank you very much. And we've worked with PSAV also for a number of years. They're an outstanding organization. I'm glad to see them here tonight. So thank you very much. Today is just absolutely beautiful day to thank our veterans. And all you gentlemen that are here and that are online that are veterans, thank you so very much for your service. We wouldn't have the country that we have today if it wasn't for you gentlemen and ladies that have performed over a number of years so that we can get to this point. And we'll be moving forward with additional veterans as we go through our military lives. And it's just such a great honor to have this day and for the the Rotary Club to honor the veterans today. It's been so special. Thank you so much for what you're hosting today. It's my privilege and an honor to introduce our guest speaker tonight. He and I go way back. I say way back. I met Mike when we first started holding a sky ball, and Mike was the kickoff. He would jump in with his team and bring in the American flag and do the fantastic way of opening up sky ball for us. And so Mike and I got to know each other for a number of years. Mike also, we asked Mike to join our board as an advisor. We couldn't think of a finer gentleman and a patriot to help guide us in areas where we needed suggestions and help, and all from Mike and the many contacts that Mike has. I'll read you a little bit about Mike Elliott. As a native of Linden, North Carolina. I saw it in the program, but I realize there's a lot of people out there that probably don't have the program. So it's probably good that we review a little bit that Mike is a native of Linden, North Carolina. He entered active duty in August of 1987, attended basic training, advanced individual training as an airborne infantryman. Mike has 2 combat tours in the Persian Gulf. Mike has served 26 years in the military. Mike Elliott's past assignments include 1st Battalion, 13th Infantry, Baumgartner, Germany, headquarters in Headquarters Company, 101st Airborne Division, Fort Campbell, Kentucky, 82nd Airborne Division, Company B, 2nd Battalion, 504th Airborne Infantry, Fort Bragg, North Carolina, Company D, and Headquarters Company, 1st Battalion, 507 Airborne Infantry, Fort Benning, Georgia, Company C, 2nd Battalion. He can't hold a job, let me tell you. Culminating his services to the nation with over 10 consecutive years of service with the U.S. Army Parachute Team, Golden Knights, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Mike has completed more than 15,000 free fall parachute jumps. Now, let me tell you, the last time I was going over this, I said 15,000. That sounds like a lot, and it is. But if Mike just jumped 2 times a day, 365 days a year, that's 20 years of jumps. That's a long time of jumping. And I know he did a lot of these, did more than 2, but just kind of give you an idea of 20 years of jumping twice a day, that's pretty outstanding. 5,000 of those were tandem jumps. On 3 separate occasions, he's held the life of one of the most important men in the U.S. in his hands. Former President George H.W. Bush has completed 3 tandem dives with Mike. Additionally, he's held the life of one of the most important men in my family in his hands, me. So I've jumped with Mike. He and I go back a long way. He's on my board. He's a hell of a patriot, a great guy. He never says no. Anytime you need something, you need information, you need help, he'll come down and do tandem jumps for us at the different events that we hold. But he just truly is a heck of a great guy and a patriot that I am so pleased to call as one of my very best friends. So please welcome Mike Elliott.
Thank you, Sid. From the all-inspiring victories of World War II, the American paratrooper has came to symbolize the highest level of professionalism, dedication, duty, and selfless service. These traits that are exhibited by all service members are preserved in the veterans of all wars, the ones who fought and sacrificed so that we may live freely today. To all of our veterans, happy Veterans Day. To our Rotarians in Dallas, Texas, thank you. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of this amazing, amazing celebration. You know, what does this day mean to me? In 1918, on the 11th hour, the 11th day, the 11th month, Armistice Day was established to stop the fighting in World War I. And today I'm here in Kansas at the World War I Monument, where I just had the opportunity to jump a World War II veteran and land on these grounds this morning on Veterans Day. How absolutely amazing is that? You know, when I think about our veterans, I think about a quote that was made by General George S. Patton. Do more than is required of you. And to all our members that wear the cloth of the nation, that is what they do. Do more than is required of you. You know, when I think about that quote and I think about General Patton, I have to share a quick story. So for the 70th anniversary of D-Day, I was over going to do a parachute jump, and I was flying an aircraft known as Whiskey 7 in Piqueville, France. And attached to the front of me was General Patton's great-great-granddaughter, Helen Patton. Now, I want you to imagine you're flying over France. You got General Patton's great-granddaughter attached to you, and you're looking out over the fields of Piqueville, France. And we leave that airplane, and we land in France. And I can remember unhooking her, and she screams, "It's over, it's over, it's over." She pulls her gloves off, she turns towards me, and I think at that moment, I'm gonna get slapped across the face with her gloves. But she gave me a hug instead. Just an amazing moment, an amazing opportunity. And again, her grandfather doing something amazing, doing something more than is required of him to do. You know, when I think about that quote, I think about another great veteran, our 41st president. And as Sid said earlier, I had the opportunity to do 3 tandem skydives with our former president. And I can distinctly remember a couple days before his second parachute jump with me, we were up in Kennebunkport, Maine. I was at a dinner at his house. And prior to the dinner, we were sitting in his sunroom, having a vodka cocktail. You know, it's not every day you get a chance to say you had a vodka cocktail with a former president. And the president was talking about being shot down in World War II. And what amazed me about that story is he was shot down in his Avenger before he dropped off his torpedoes, alluding to the fact that he could have turned around and flew his aircraft back to the aircraft carrier, but he continued on with his mission. He did more than is required for him to do, just like our veterans do every single day. On this day, I'm absolutely grateful. I'm grateful to be here on these grounds in Kansas City, where many years ago, a U.S. representative helped proclaim this day as officially being Veterans Day. I'm grateful to all our World War I veterans. I'm grateful to all our World War II veterans. I'm grateful to all veterans. And it's amazing to me that our veterans continue to serve every single day as first responders, as healthcare workers. Our oath never, ever expires because it is enduring. So to all of you, I say thank you and happy Veterans Day.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you. I think we have time for questions here. I'm not sure if, can you hear me, Michael?
Absolutely.
First of all, I thought I had a great beard. Oh my. I'm sure other people who are watching and have joined us today have questions, but I have two. Number one, when you were young, was jumping out of airplanes something? I mean, were you afraid of heights when you were a kid? Before your first jump, before you became a paratrooper, what was your life like?
I tell you what, Jody, I am afraid of heights to this day with over 50,000 skydives. I'll jump out of an airplane all day, but I will not get on top of a ladder or on top of a house.
Is that right?
That is absolutely correct.
Is it because it's so much higher you can't really reference what's down there? Whereas on a ladder, you know that's a broken leg 5 feet from here. From here,
the house is not moving, and when you're jumping out of an airplane, it's moving about 105 miles an hour. So it's a whole different perspective from an aircraft opposed to being on a stationary height.
I can't even imagine. And before anybody else has a chance, I asked you this last night and you didn't tell me the answer, but I want an answer now. Have you ever gotten up there and had anybody change their mind?
Believe it or not, I've had one person. I was out in Yuma, Arizona about 2007, 2008. I had Clint Eastwood's daughter in the aircraft with me, getting ready to hook her up. She looked back and she says, I'm not going to do it. I tried to talk her into doing it and she would not even let me hook her up. So yeah, that was my one and only out of about 6,500 tandem skydives.
Wow. Wow. Are we set up to take questions from any of our attendees online today, guys, or do I get one more? I've got one more. How long are you going to keep jumping out of airplanes? I mean, at some point you think, I've seen it from up here enough, or is it just something that gives you a rush every time you do it?
You know, Jody, today And we're going to show a quick video here in a second. I took a World War II veteran who was 94 years old on a tandem skydive. And he was just absolutely amazing. Now, this guy at the age of 94, every year he goes up to some ice froze lake, cuts a hole out, and jumps in the water to raise money. So if he can continue to do it at 94, I'm going to go until at least I'm 100 years old.
Goodness. Can we show the video now, or are we going to wait on that for a second or two? If we could, it'd be great to show the video now, because this was just this morning. Here we go. Watch this. Can you narrate this for us, Michael, while we're watching? Because I don't know if we've got audio on the video.
So basically, this morning is
there it is.
No, thank you for your service and all that you did for young men like myself to make it free today. Thank you. What an amazing jump, sir.
Yes, I made it, dude.
Yeah, I think I understand why you're going to keep doing this. I do have one more question, and then we have an award for you here in just a second. You know, people who serve in the armed forces have a different perspective on life, death, struggle, sacrifice, and those sorts of things. And here we are in this pandemic. And it's not like it's the first crisis we've ever faced as a country, whether it was the Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, Civil War, World War II, 9/11. Doing research for a television show that I work with, finding out all the sacrifices that our parents had to make during World War II, whether it was food rationing or gas rationing or just austerity, not being able to smoke outside for fear of enemy bombers seeing the light down below and being able to reckon a target. Of all the things that you've learned, I know this is a huge question, but of all the things that you've learned over the course of your career in the military and in serving other people, what's the one bit of advice, the one thing that you learned that you could tell your fellow Americans that says, hold on to this. This is the thing that will get us through this?
You know, that's a question is easily answered. You love your nation, you love your country, and you love the people that's in your country. You love your American flag, and there's people that are willing to die and sacrifice for the freedom that we enjoy every single day.
That's why he flies, ladies and gentlemen. That's why Michael Elliott, God bless you, man. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Jody, if I could, one more small thing I would like to say.
Sure.
Our great World War II veteran, Mr. Lewis Wright, who still does 100 push-ups every single day. Sir, if you would ever like to come fly with me, I would love to have you.
Linus was once the superintendent of Dallas schools, so jumping out of an airplane at 10,000 feet is going to be nothing to him. Stay at the beach. Thank you so much, Sergeant. God bless you. God bless your family. Have a wonderful holiday season and enjoy that beautiful day in Kansas City. What a wonderful morning it's been for you. And thank you for sharing it with us.
Thank you.
I think we've got an award for you here. Jim?
Thank you, Jody. Yeah, Michael, before we get to the award, show of hands, who wants to do a tandem jump with Michael? I see hands in the audience. Hillary, please put together the sign-up sheet. Don't let them out the door until they all sign up, all those who raise their hands. I hope we have a good picture of that PSAV so we can get back to them. Michael, you and I have something in common, and that is parachute jumping. But with your 15,000 jumps, you're about 14,999 more than I am. So I would have a ways to go to catch up. Let me bring let me bring Linus up here to present an award to Michael. So Linus. One thing I forgot to mention about Linus, one of his other resume items, he's a past district governor, as well as being past president of our club and superintendent of schools, et cetera. Thank you, Linus.
Thank you, Jim. Michael, I haven't made 15,000 jumps, but I made 15 75 years ago in World War II. Michael, in appreciation of your outstanding military service, your dedication to our men and women in uniform, and in honor of our many veterans who have made the ultimate sacrifice in protecting our country, we're honored to present you with the 2020 Parole Patriot Award. And it says, on behalf of all men and women who have served this great country, and as a World War II veteran, it is my honor and privilege to present the Parole Patriot Award to you, knowing that Ross Perot himself is up there watching from above with a big smile of his approval for the work that you've done for our country. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Just in case you can't quite see that, there we go. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Okay, Charles Ashcraft says that you've made arrangements to have the award shipped to you. Thank you, Charles. Okay. Excellent. Okay, let's see. Our special thanks to the Perot family and the Perot Foundation for their ongoing support. Once again, our heartfelt thanks to our keynote speaker, Michael Elliott, and our best wishes for all of your jumps to be safe ones. Our sincere appreciation to all our long-term partners and all of you for your donations in supporting our veterans and the men and women in uniform and their families. We could not have this event without the help of Jody Dean. Thank you, Jody. Let's give a big thank you to our 2020 SAV committee chairs and volunteers for taking on this challenge. Our sincere appreciation to each of you for being here. All proceeds benefit the USO, DFW, or the George W. Bush Institute Military Service Initiative. Now this script that I've been following has been authored by Charles, and Charles left out a couple people that I think need to be thanked. If you are an immovable object, you do not want to meet the irresistible force that is Charles Ashcraft. You will find out that you are a movable object. Charles, you have done an amazing job, as always. Thank you so much for doing this. I know there's a whole lot that happens behind the scenes, and you make it look effortless. Thank you so much. The other individual that I have to recognize is someone who hates being in the limelight, but Hillary Pennertz, our executive director. Hillary, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all you do to help make this event successful. Awesome job. I don't know how you do it all. I'm sure you have a twin sister who helps, but I've never met her. Next year, we'll be meeting here at the Frontiers of Flight Museum on Wednesday, November 10th, 2021. Please mark your calendars and plan to attend. I'm pleased to share that our club is partnering with Safe for Dallas, White Rock Partnership, Boy Scouts, and others to light up downtown and honor our heroes today on Veterans Day. Now, if you would all please stand and recite the four-way test. The four-way test is a nonpartisan and non-sectarian ethical guide for Rotarians to use for their personal and professional relationships. Of the things we think, say, or do, first, is it the truth? Second, is it fair to all concerned? Third, will it build goodwill and better friendships? Fourth, will it be beneficial to all concerned? And the Rotary Club of Dallas adds a fifth, which is it fun? Thank you all for being here today. Wish to highlight our thanks to the sponsors of SAV 2019 and 2020, have provided many new experiences and challenges for us. We're looking forward to having our sponsors and our veterans back live in 2021. In closing, and in preparation for the song, please take a flag from your podium, from your table, and wave. We encourage you to join the USO in singing God Bless America. God bless America.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the ocean white with foam. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home, my home sweet home.
Thank you for being here today. Our meeting is adjourned.